Two games left on the schedule here in Saskatoon at the Super 8 Four Nations Cup. Chris Abbott joined by Kyle Smith as we bring you the bronze medal match. A rematch from the Group C final in Oklahoma City last year, and a rematch from just yesterday here in Saskatoon, the USA against Japan. Kyle, the USA missing out on a gold medal game by one run, which was called back after an interference play at the U.S. dugout. We've seen just about everything over 3 days of play here.
Yeah, you know, we said last night not to leave early before a game ends, and again, we are proven correct on that one. But yeah, it's a throw from second base that hit the bucket that the guys had been sitting on that drew the interference call and put the runner back over at third.
Defensively for the USA, a different looking lineup. You've got Brennan Ducharme in left, Yusuf Davis in center, Frank Kimlinger in right. Blaine Milheim back at third base. Braden Ducharme moves over to short as Cam Schiller takes the evening off. Zach Shaw plugged in at second as always. Jeff Lewis will play first. Tyler Damon will do the catching for 20-year-old Cody Gibbons on the mound for the United States. He will face this lineup from Japan. Looks familiar at the top with Tei Hamamoto and Yusuke Morita, 1-2. Koki Sato moves back up into the 3 spot. Keito Masaki will play first base and back cleanup. Kotaro Yasumi, who was injured earlier today, good to see him back in the lineup and batting 5th. Yusuke Sakuraba is batting 6th. Yutaro Inoue in right field. Fumiya Ueda is the catcher, and Ryuji Okawa, the number 9 batter, is the shortstop. We're underway. First pitch swinging, Hamamoto. This is going to be a tough play for Gibbons. Not a chance, and Tai Hamamoto has a leadoff single.
Yeah, one of those high-hopping, bouncing, choppered hits at the front of the plate. Nice play by Gibbons, bare-handing it. But with the speed of Hamamoto, you have no chance to get that far and in time at first.
So these teams with a round-robin date on the docket in Prince Albert in just a few days' time. On Wednesday they will play. It'll be the second game of the tournament for each squad. So we've got what we would call the reserves in the lineup for both sides in this one. Although they've played so much over the last couple of years, there's certainly no secrets to be had. The 0-1 pitch from Gibbons is blocked by Tyler Damon, who gets his second action behind the plate for the U.S. in this tournament. The U.S. has just finished a game about 25 minutes ago. Braden Ducharme and Jeff Lewis, Zach Shaw, the only players, along with Blaine Milheim, that were in the starting lineup for that one.
Well, here's the guy that has stirred the drink, if you will, of Japan.
U.S. didn't learn their lesson. They had a bat left outside the dugout.
Yeah.
Yusuke Morita has a couple of home runs here in the pre-tournament. Hamamoto's off and running, and on the hit and run, Morita will ground out to Lewis at first. Hamamoto will move over to second.
Good ball in play there and neatly played by Jeff Lewis. He's bounced around between the DP and first base position this week.
So with one out and a runner in scoring position, Koki Sato will step in. Japan played the first game of the day today, a hard-fought 1-0 win over New Zealand
It seems like forever ago.
Kyle, we're only halfway done our work day, my friend. But we've had 2 phenomenal ball games. In fact, this is game number 7 on the entire schedule. The first 6 have been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it really has set the table for what we're going to see up in Prince Albert here in the next week. And we will remind everybody that if you would like to join us in Prince Albert, there are still tickets available. Better yet, if you can't make it, then make sure you buy your package over on gametime.sport. Join Chris, myself, and Lance on the broadcast up in PA for the Men's Softball World Cup.
2-0 after the pitch got through the legs of Damon. And now Hamamoto standing at third. The 2-0. Sato thought it was low, but he'll accept the strike call from Ed Otterman. Nice low spinner for strike 2.
Saw Gibbons Friday night, I want to say that was, enter the game. Actually pitched very well in relief of Brad Kilpatrick.
Changes the speeds on Sato there for the second out as he goes down swinging. Yeah, we haven't seen Gibbons since the opening night of the tournament, but he looked good on that one, and a high changeup will get Sato. So Kaito Masaki is at first base in this game, and this will be the first time we haven't seen Kazuya Toriyama at first. May see Toriyama come in and hit later, although we haven't seen many substitutions from Japan.
Yeah, it's been, they're 9 and go. I guess we saw a substitution earlier today on the injury, but
yeah, and that was it.
Had it not been for that, I doubt we would have seen one.
Well, I would think just because of the fact you want Toriyama hitting for you next week that the head coach, Shinji Iguchi, would like to see him get another turn or 2. And with 2 out and Hamamoto at third, Masaki will ground out to end the inning. So Japan will threaten but unable to push anything across as Milheim will make a perfect throw to end the inning. We'll be right back with the bottom of the first. As
Welcome to
USA
Mont Hill
will
Golf
look
and
to
Country
take
Club.
home.
With our beautiful 27-hole golf course open to the public, we work tirelessly to ensure your time with us is second to none. Well, here you'll be able to enjoy an incredible dining experience at our very own Big Pete's Steakhouse. Play some of the best courses in the world with our state-of-the-art golf simulators. Upgrade your gear with the top brands at our pro shop, or host a stunning wedding, event, or conference inside one of our beautiful ballrooms. Learn all this and more at monthill.ca. We can't wait to see you soon.
Back here for the bottom of the first inning in Saskatoon at Bob Van Impe Stadium. As Shota Onodera will complete his warm-ups. Kyle, he's making his 4th appearance in 4 games for Japan.
Yeah, he has appeared and looked good, other than maybe this morning ran into the hot bats, but was able to hang on.
Yeah, he's able to work around it. Let's see if he can work around this USA lineup. Quickly, Jeff Lewis, Zach Shaw, Blaine Milheim, Tyler Johnson, Tyler Damon, and Frank Kimlinger. Braden Ducharme, Brennan Ducharme, Yusuf Davis, 1 through 9. So Jeff Lewis is a mainstay leadoff hitter. Zach Shaw is usually at the bottom of the order. Will move up to the 2 spot. Milheim in a familiar middle of the order spot.
I think this is the first game for Ochoa not in the lineup.
Yeah, no need to push it at this point. You've got your games in, you've got your swings in. With all due respect to the prestige of this event, a bronze medal or a fourth place finish here is not the goal this week for either team.
Now at this point, it's all about staying healthy.
Yeah, get yourselves to Prince Albert in good shape. Marco Diaz went 5 innings earlier. We don't think we'll see him tonight.
Well, I'd have a hard time seeing Marco come back in.
We may not even see Brad Kilpatrick. This could be Cody Gibbons' game.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Kilpatrick get maybe a couple more innings just to kind of solidify his processes here for the week. Had that rough start, but has bounced back nicely.
The only thing I would, if I'm on the U.S. side of things, my thought process would be, don't want to give these guys yet another look
For sure.
at Kilpatrick, because you may need him in the round-robin game. These teams are in a pool with defending champion Australia. And it's a 4-pitch walk from Onodera to open the game, and ho-hum, Jeff Lewis is on base again to lead off a game.
Yeah, he's really making a habit out of that here this week. And then circle in Dominican in that group with the U.S., Japan, and Australia.
And the Dominican Republic, surprise, maybe a little bit in Group B last year, kind of coming through, and they ran the table in the opening round.
Group A, you mean?
Group A, not Group B. Group A in Mexico. You and I were there.
We were there. It was blistering hot.
Shaw on the ground, bobbled by Masaki, but he'll step on first as Lewis moves down on the fielder's choice. Yeah, it's been a tale of some different climates, that's for sure. You go from the Sonora Desert to
Mosquito Haven, Prince Albert.
To what was it was a hot Oklahoma City, but didn't have anything on Mexico, that's for sure.
Probably more humidity in Oklahoma City.
There was, yeah, well, it's hard to get less humidity than we had in Hermosillo. But one string that ran through all of those events was a passionate local host committee, professionally run events through the WBSC and their group. And it'll all culminate next week. I say next week, it's 3 days' time. We'll be throwing the first pitch in Prince Albert. Blaine Milheim's going to poke one into short right field. Lewis didn't get a great jump. Now we've got maybe interference at first base, and that's going to give Milheim. Will it give Milheim second? They're going to say no.
No, he's going to stay here. He made no attempt, and his action wasn't going to lead over to second. It's not, when you have obstruction, it's not a guaranteed that you're going to be given that base. It's what you would have been. Yeah, you're not, and what Mike's saying is you're not protected, or you're protected to the base that you would have been awarded. It's not what you think you're going to get. It's where you would have been gotten to had you not been obstructed. And what they're saying is,
well, the comment I heard back was you weren't going to make it.
Right, and that's what comes in the umpire's estimation. They have to say that you're going to make it.
I mean, that's a tough one because it was a short single to right. He's rounding first hard. There could have been a play at the plate. The throw went to the plate, and on that throw, would he not have moved up?
But and it's also what he does. Like when that throw comes in, does he move? Does he make a motion towards second? That's also your telltale sign too. If he's got to make an attempt with the obstruction to actually go as well.
Well, I think he was though, but he just got blocked coming around first base by Masaki, who doesn't play over there very often. So Masaki's probably just standing there watching the play happen. And they're going to leave Milheim at first, but I can see the argument. I can definitely see the argument.
For sure. Yeah, I'm not saying you don't have the argument. It's it's the thing about the obstruction rule is it's the interpretation of the umpire and what they deem that you would make it to without the interference.
Well, let's see if Tyler Johnson makes that a moot point. Runners are at first and third with one down. First pitch swinging, Johnson up the middle. Second for one, and a hard slide by Milheim will keep Okawa from making a throw, even though I don't think he would have anyhow. And full marks to Kotaro Yasumi breaking across the middle there.
Yeah, so Milheim taken down and then a slide and little bump, but no chance with Johnson running.
So Johnson with the RBI fielder's choice ground out. Milheim out at second, and with two down and a runner on first, it'll be Tyler Damon, the catcher. U.S. out to a quick 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the first inning.
Catcher number 12, Tyler Damon.
That's high, and Damon will leave it there. So Kyle, Wednesday will mark the 5th time in the span of a year that these teams have met. That's a lot in an international game.
Yeah, absolutely. That is a boatload.
Off the plate, Damon. Okawa stretched out like a spider that time as he was coming across second base. Managed to catch the bag with his back foot.
Yeah, nice play there to catch it, dot the bag, and end the inning.
After one, USA 1, Japan, no score. Cody Gibbons back out to work the second after this. So we go to the top of the second inning. Yasumi, Sakuraba, and Inoue due up for Japan.
Second baseman, number 8, Kotaro Yasumi.
Yasumi was caught off first base in a double play in the game earlier, Kyle. He left with an injury, and I didn't quite see, but you say it looked like he had his hand stepped on, maybe?
Well, yeah, stepped on, kneeled on, landed on it, blocking the bag. The leg came down, and there might have been a little bit of a cleat involved, but yeah, good to see him back in the lineup. He sure looked in a lot of discomfort.
He did. He got a nice round of applause as he jogged off, and that's the second one he's rifled over towards his teammates.
Action down in the bullpen for Japan, Chris.
It's everybody's favorite guy, Fuga Nagai. He's pitching a ton here in this event. And it'll be curious, Kyle, to pay attention with Japan because we saw Hiroki Aikita this morning. Looked like he might have been battling a little injury, and it kind of would be his spot in the rotation. But at the same time, he's their number one. I would expect, as Yasumi goes down swinging, I would expect now we're looking at a Diaz-Aikita matchup on Wednesday.
Yeah, it would sure seem like it. He's kind of going through the motions. He's down there, is Aikita, to possibly start throwing as well.
Oh, that is him spotting, yes. First pitch to Yasuke Sakuraba is a swing and a miss as Cody Gibbons is working nice and tidy here to start the game for the U.S. Sakuraba tries to sneak down a bunt, but comes up dry and is now down in a hole 0-2.
Really good pitch there by Gibbons. He's done nothing but improve his chances and improve the looks that the coaching staff have gotten at him here this week.
And a hard drop ball. Sakuraba swings over it. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. And Cody Gibbons has struck out the first two batters here in the top of the second.
Well, good little inside drop ball right onto the hands of Sakuraba. Well placed by Cody Gibbons.
Yutaro Inoue. First pitch swing, another drop ball, another foul ball. And Kyle, you think back to when these teams met yesterday. It was a lot of the reserve players for Japan in the lineup then. Much the same, similar lineup as they're coming with tonight. So
yeah.
You hear about hiding pitchers. They're hiding some of their hitters.
Sure might seem like that, though. If I'm the hitters, I'd want to get some at-bats against the American pitchers. But again, you're not dealing with the what would be starting catcher in Nick Mullins. So the thought process, even in calling the game, is different.
Hard drop ball, and Cody Gibbons will strike out the side. And looks good doing it. Gibbons gave up a leadoff single and has retired 6 in a row, including 3 strikeouts here in the second. U.S. will look to build on its 1-0 lead. Frank Kimlinger, Braden, and then Brennan Ducharme due up for the Americans. Frank Kimlinger will lead things off for the U.S. In the first inning, Jeff Lewis led off with a walk, later came around to score on an RBI fielder's choice by Tyler Johnson. And that's how we got where we are right now. Chris Abbott and Kyle Smith with you all the way here at the Super 8 Men's Four Nations Cup. And Shota Onodera is back out for his second inning of work. Starts with an outside drop ball for called strike 1.
Brad Kilpatrick down in the bullpen, loosening.
And Onodera quickly ahead, no balls and 2 strikes, much to the dismay of Frank Kimlinger. And you know, for guys like Kimlinger, for the Ducharmes, for Yusuf Davis, who are kind of on the bubble of being starters on the team, this game, even though it may not have the same intensity, there's a lot on the line for those guys.
Oh, for sure. I mean, you're trying to find your way into the starting lineup. When there's a few open positions, you would think after what we've seen this week, there's probably a couple of guys that could, have a good game and find their way into the opening night lineup. But right now, it's anybody's guess as to how the 9 line will go.
Braden Ducharme played third base last game against Canada. He moves over to shortstop here. And first pitch swinging, Onodera will beat him. And 4 strikes to start the second for Shota Onodera. Foul tip. And now Onodera ahead, no balls, 2 strikes.
Really nice tight rise by Onodera.
He tries to climb the ladder a little bit more. Ducharme will leave it alone. So this is the 3 versus 4 bronze medal game. And coming up immediately after this one, Canada, New Zealand under the lights in Saskatoon. Let's run it back one more time.
Yeah, that one's scheduled for a 7:15 start.
I'll take the over.
Well, we're only 5 minutes late starting this one.
Strike 3 call. Ducharme goes down looking. And it's back-to-back backwards Ks for Shota Onodera to start the inning.
That one looks right there as I think Ducharme may be thinking something else was coming.
Change up. So now Brennan Ducharme, who we've not seen today. He was in the lineup yesterday against Japan. You had Warren Jones from USA Softball, Kyle, on earlier, and he spoke glowingly about the youth movement for this senior men's team.
Yeah, it really did, and it's all started in the development process, identifying young guys and getting them out to events and letting them cut their teeth in the lower, age groups, and have found their way to the top here. And they've got the ability to play. Now it's just getting them, like we've talked about a couple times here this week, just some seasoning, if you will.
Swing and a miss. Strike 2. The Ducharmes from Wisconsin. So many top men's teams based in Wisconsin over the years.
What I didn't know is that the Ducharme boys' dad was a softball player.
Well, he just watched both his sons strike out here in the second inning. Nice bounce back for Shota Onodera as he strikes out the side to match Cody Gibbons. We'll go to the top of the third. The 8-9-1 batters will be due up for Japan. Fumiya Ueda, Ryuji Okawa, and Tei Hamamoto.
Welcome to Mont Hill Golf and Country Club. With our beautiful 27-hole golf course open to the public, we work tirelessly to ensure your time with us is second to none. Well, here you'll be able to enjoy an incredible dining experience at our very own Big Pete's Steakhouse. Play some of the best courses in the world with our state-of-the-art golf simulators. Upgrade your gear with the top brands at our pro shop, or host a stunning wedding, event, or conference inside one of our beautiful ballrooms. Learn all this and more at monthill.ca. We can't wait to see you soon.
Lenny Kravitz wondering, Kyle, are you going to go his way?
Well, if his way is up to Prince Albert, absolutely. Head north on the Trans-Canada Highway. About an hour and a half up the road.
Depends who's driving, apparently. I heard our man Claudio got in and out of Prince Albert pretty quickly the other day. And he avoided the Royal Canadian Mounted Police.
Oh, that's good. I know when I went up last summer, it was about an hour and a half, hour 45, and I'd say we were going right with it.
Ueda rips this one past the diving Braden Ducharme. Second hit off Cody Gibbons.
I'd be interested to see if this almost hit the catcher's glove, because the glove kind of shook as the bat came through.
Well, no need to ask about catcher's interference because Sueda got on top of that rise ball. So that'll bring up Ryuji Okawa, who doesn't miss much time no matter what the scenario here for Japan. And, you know, talking about that drive from Saskatoon up to Prince Albert, not much to look at. A lot of fields, a lot of crops.
Canola fields and corn fields.
Okawa called out on strikes. He looks back in disbelief and walks back to the dugout.
Yeah, he thought that one was high and sure looked like it. High drop as it cut across.
Hard to argue with Okawa on that one. So Hamamoto singled and stranded back in the first. Tried to slap, or at least thought about slapping it. Takes strike one. Hamamoto has played every inning here in Saskatoon. Mostly in center field. Played one game in right. And a half-hearted swing will be strike two. And a third one. Cody Gibbons is burning through this Japan lineup right now. 6 strikeouts already.
Well, he is Dyson like Devin McCullough was the other night against Japan.
There you see Ueda heading over back to the bench, replaced on the 2-out catcher rule by Tei Hamamoto. And it's the most dangerous hitter in this lineup right now, Yusuke Morita. He fouls the first pitch off the screen over by the dugout. Kyle, we're seeing a few more faces. The Saskatchewan Amateur Softball Association has had some provincials going on as Hamamoto runs. Ball was in the dirt, and Damon's not able to get Hamamoto, who will steal second. They've got a provincial tournament going on, and as some teams are getting eliminated, it's great to see some youthful faces here watching. I see a team that's right over the Japan dugout on third base. Next time we cut to that previous camera, you'll be able to see it. And they are locked in.
Yeah, we talked to
Morita to first. Lewis takes a high hop and steps on the bag, and we'll come back to that as after 2.5, actually. Yes, 2.5. It is 1-0 USA. And the Americans will send the 9-1-2 batters Yusuf Davis, Jeff Lewis, and Zach Shaw when we come back. I'm not just asking for tequila. I don't know if we cut back to the PA audio in time for that, but it was the song Tequila. Yusuf Davis will lead things off. The center fielder batting in the 9th spot. Our first look at Davis today. First pitch swinging. This is flared foul down the left side. And Kyle, to me, Yusuf Davis is a guy who's right on that bubble. Like
Yeah.
9.5 starters.
Yeah, for sure. And I think probably coming in, he might have been penciled in as the starting center fielder, but really struggled here with the bat. So he looked to right that here this afternoon to leave a good lasting impression as we work our way to Tuesday night.
They'll ask for a check down at third, and yes, he did, says Terry Richter.
I keep saying Tuesday night, but actually U.S., I believe, leads it off on Tuesday morning.
They have an early one.
Their games are all on the early side of the schedule.
Yeah, that's what I meant. They have an early one for sure, and I just want to double check so I give the right information about who their opponent is. The first game of the tournament, actually Japan or USA plays a little bit later on day one. So on Tuesday, as Davis puts this in play up the middle for a single to get things going in the third. And he's going to try for second, and he is out. Davis thought he had an opportunity to catch Tai Hamamoto sleeping.
Well, Hamamoto bobbled it a little bit, and Davis thought he could get there, but he is cut down at second. And quite honestly, Chris, if you're trying to get in the lineup, not necessarily one of that smart decisions there.
Well, I like the aggressiveness. He's a very fast runner.
For sure.
And the bobble in center, I mean, Hamamoto had to find that ball and come up with a good throw, but it did beat Davis by a decent margin. So getting back to the schedule conversation, actually this team from Japan will open things in Prince Albert. They'll start an 11:30 game on Tuesday a.m. against the Dominican Republic. Then we've got Venezuela and Argentina, two teams we're looking forward to seeing. USA will play Jack Besgrove and Australia at 4:30 local time. And we'll have the opening ceremonies in the nightcap, New Zealand and Canada, where we're expecting a sellout crowd. Then on the second day of competition, the U.S. plays Japan at 2:30 p.m. That's the game you were thinking of.
Chris, I just had a message, and for those that maybe haven't been with us a lot, you will hear some beeping in the background.
Oh.
It's the scoreboard controller. Somebody wrote in and said they thought something was beeping in their house watching it on TV.
Lewis chops it to second. Okawa coming across, and Okawa was screaming to let Yasumi let him take that ball. That was beautiful.
He came out of nowhere, squealing across the diamond for that one. Such a great play. Ball in glove, one step, flip on to first. We've said it before, say it again. He has made some incredible plays this week.
That was outstanding. Yeah, you see something new every time you come to the ball field, right? He picks that up like on the first base side of the second baseman almost, you know? And
that's second base's ball for sure.
He probably could have ran that over and gotten Jeff Lewis. So with two down, it's Zach Shaw. And the defense so far behind Shota Onodera has been outstanding. But that's what we've come to expect over the years. Teams from Japan. And frankly, Kyle, all 8 teams when we get to Prince Albert, magicians on the infield dirt.
Oh, for sure. I mean,
Shaw rips this one, and Masaki steps off first, makes the catch. Please continue.
The defense we've seen here has been outstanding, and then add in the South American teams and Latin American teams and the guys that, have that baseball influence, is only going to get better defensively.
Can't wait. Buckle up. We've got about another week of this for you between us here on Softball Premier and later on Game Time Sport. Cody Gibbons makes his way back out for his 4th inning of work. We'll be right back. Middle of the order coming up for Japan, Koki Sato, Keito Masaki, and Kotaro Yasumi, the 3-4-5 hitters. Japan with 2 hits so far, Hamamoto and Ueda. Hamamoto led off the game, made it to third base, but since then, nobody's got that close. Ducharme off the one hop, and Sato is retired.
Swinging early, putting the ball in play here, and Cody Gibbons is chopping him down.
Masaki has a bit of pop. He had 3 home runs in the group stage in Oklahoma City. Drills this one to Jeff Lewis, who had his glove in the right position, Kyle, because otherwise that's gone past him.
Yeah, absolutely. Glove down, just like you're taught, and knock it down.
Knocked it down, he did. It got on him quickly.
We've seen some missiles hit here this week.
Very quickly, 2 out here in the top of the 4th inning. Yasumi, he struck out to start the 2nd. He takes ball 1 low from Cody Gibbons. Brad Kilpatrick continues to throw down in right field, and Fuga Nagai. Oh, check that. Hiroki Aikida is now throwing down the line for Japan, so that's a good sign.
Definitely a little freer in his delivery as that one gets fouled out.
Into the third base bleachers. And the ball rattles around. Somebody, I know you guys, there's $1 for any of you. Go get that ball. Not interested. That must be the affluent section down there. Nobody needs the dollar.
I didn't see any kids down there.
No, they're running. I can hear them now. So Gibbons, who hasn't fallen behind many batters, finds himself there right now. Yasumi yanks it, but foul down the left field line. I believe that's Jonathan Lynch. Yeah, made the play. Or the right field line, even.
Fired a nice strike back in.
Is there anything he can't do? I would like to see Jonathan Lynch and Shane Bolin have to sit quietly in a room together for 2 hours. See how long.
Sit still, not quietly.
You know those competitions where there's like a car in the shopping mall and you have to like keep your hand on it. Yasumi pops this up to Yusuf Davis in center, and that's about as easy as it's going to get for Yusuf Davis Jr. And one more time, Cody Gibbons, 3 up and 3 down, as he is cruising through this one for the USA. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th. Milheim, Johnson, and Damon due up for the Americans.
Welcome to Mont Hill Golf and Country Club. With our beautiful 27-hole golf course open to the public, we work tirelessly to ensure your time with us is second to none. Well, here you'll be able to enjoy an incredible dining experience at our very own Big Pete's Steakhouse. Play some of the best courses in the world with our state-of-the-art golf simulators. Upgrade your gear with the top brands at our pro shop, or host a stunning wedding, event, or conference inside one of our beautiful ballrooms. Learn all this and more at monthill.ca. We can't wait to see you soon.
Kyle, we get a good look at Hiroki Akita throwing the weighted ball right there, but I was looking at that one table. They had a lot more cans than they had people, let me tell you that.
Putting in a shift here on a Saturday afternoon.
Everyone getting good and ready for the nightcap between New Zealand and Canada.
Looks like not a bad crowd over at the Berries game. Over in just beyond the left field fence.
I see the people trudging in from the parking lot. Too bad we didn't have a chance to go check out a Berries game while we were here. Maybe they play tomorrow or Monday. We can.
We're out of here tomorrow.
Yeah, listen. Maybe it's an early start. I'd come back. So Fuga Nagai, speaking of coming back, Fuga Nagai back in for Japan. He takes over from Shota Onodera here in the bottom of the fourth. First pitch swinging is Blaine Milheim. So Nagai walks in, and he walks into the 3, 4, 5 spots in the order.
He's definitely getting the yeoman's work here for the Japanese pitching staff here this week. What started out as a rocky go-round has turned into a better comeback for Nagai.
Milheim, and going up the ladder is Masaki at first to make the play.
Nice play by the big man to climb the ladder and get a glove on it. Got up. Nice play there by Masaki.
First pitch to Tyler Johnson is up and away. Question in the chat, Kyle, and this is a good question. Lost track of the time. Has the tournament started, or is this another warm-up game? Well, this is the second last game of the warm-up tournament here, the Super 8 International Men's Four Nations Cup. The WBSC World Cup gets underway on Tuesday in North America, and it will be, I guess, early Wednesday morning if you're in Japan. It looks like we got a Bama fan in here as well.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide Timmy says, go get him, Cody. Cody certainly is going to get him. Let us know where you're watching from in the chat. Johnson
Really
chases
good pitch.
upstairs, and the guy leans back. It's a little bit extra on that one. And that's his put-away pitch for Fuga Nagai.
Yeah, lots of depth to that pitch. Climbed that ladder, stayed in the strike zone long, and as it got there, Tyler Johnson swinging, but coming up empty.
Tyler Damon grounded into a fielder's choice to end the first inning. And he comes up with 2 outs one more time here in the fourth. First pitch swinging again on that Nagai rise ball.
Speaking of Roll Tide, I'd like to go to an Alabama football game one time.
I would like to go to like an Alabama, Georgia at some point.
Yeah.
Shot to the left side, and Ryuji Okawa does it again. Are you kidding me?
You run out of things to say sometimes. He's got a big smile on his face. Sometimes when you're hot on defense, you are hot on defense. Diving full extension on this one. That's the strikeout from previous.
We'll get another look at that for you later. But we're going to take a break. We'll show you that one again when we come back. You would not believe the work that Claudio is putting in for us over there on the switcher, the replay, the audio, the commercials.
On the ones and twos.
Claudio's on the 1,
Here
2,
it
3s,
is.
and 4s. Here it is right here.
No, that's a strikeout again.
We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Change on the mound for the U.S. Brad Kilpatrick takes over here in the top half of the 5th inning. Cody Gibbons departs, allowing 2 hits, 6 strikeouts. Daniel checking in from Tucson, Arizona. That was not very far from where we were in Hermosillo last year. I think about a 2-hour drive. Sakuraba sends us high out to left. Brennan Ducharme in under it to make the play.
Straight south through the border.
And then Claire is watching from Claremont Meadows, New South Wales in Australia. I haven't been to your province, or territory. I have been in Melbourne a couple of times, Claire. Absolutely love Australia. I wish it wasn't so far away. I could move there. If I had to move to somewhere else in the world, Kyle, and I'm not kidding you, it would be Australia.
Yeah, I think it'd probably be Australia or New Zealand for sure.
I haven't been to New Zealand, so Australia gets the leg up. People are great down under.
We will see the Aussies in just a couple days.
Speaking of a guy who has Aussie roots on the mound, Kilpatrick, change up, back up the middle. What a play by Shaw on to first. One good defensive play deserves another. How about Zach Shaw laying out?
Full extension going up the middle and up on a knee to get the speedy Inoue.
Oh, what a throw, too.
Yeah, up on one knee and throw a strike to first base.
Kilpatrick curveball in to Fumiya Ueda, who's got one of the 2 Japan hits. We've got King checking in from Denmark. Wonder if he's sitting at Circle Tap watching the game.
Denmark, Wisconsin, or Denmark?
Denmark, Wisconsin. Denmark,
for him.
Wisconsin.
There's a hotbed of fastball. The world famous Circle Tap bar. That's a diamond to go behold if you've never been there.
I haven't. Bucket list stuff. Ueda goes down 3 pitches, and how about Brad Kilpatrick coming out of the bullpen? A second strong outing for Kilpatrick so far. We're on our way to the bottom of the 5th inning. USA still with a 1-0 lead here over Japan in the bronze medal game. So moving right along to the bottom of the 5th inning, it's Frank Kimlinger, Brennan Ducharme due up for the U.S. 6, 7, 8 spots in the order.
And I don't know if everybody saw it back home, but one of the things, just to put a cherry on top of how this week's gone, we had a flyover here in between innings.
They're doing the pregame ceremony for the local baseball team, the Saskatoon Berries, over, and they had a military flyover. I guess, Canada Day not too far in the rear view. We also had the 4th of July yesterday. But I didn't know what was going on.
That plane was flying low.
I look up, there's a low-flying plane flashing its lights, and I was like, oh, boy, if this is how it ends, I die doing what I love.
On your wedding anniversary, no less.
Yeah,
Happy anniversary, by the way.
Thank you very much. Yeah, my wife was really happy that I was a few time zones away for our wedding anniversary.
Not just any wedding anniversary, but number 1.
Number 1, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Somebody looked over number 1. You're a little old for the first wedding anniversary, aren't you, buddy? It's a long story. I don't have time to tell it.
You're a young 20.
Oh. And my first wedding at that. People are like, must have been his second one. Kimlinger pops this up behind second base. Yasumi tracks back onto the grass to make the play.
Kimlinger just can't buy a base hit here this week. He has put the ball in play a bunch and just hasn't had anything to show for it. And here comes Braden Ducharme now. Man, I tell you, Chris, Fugo Nagai has come in dealing this afternoon.
Well, you were talking about the Ducharme family earlier on, and yes, Fugo Nagai has. Braden at the plate now, and Dan Ducharme chimes in. Great job announcing, guys. Watching live from Hudson, Wisconsin. We'll see you in person in Prince Albert on Tuesday. Look forward to it. Dan, please come by and say hello.
I presume,
Don't know for sure.
Dan, maybe let us know in the chat if you are Braden and Brennan's dad. If so, actually, we shared the commuter bus off the airplane last year in Hermosillo after the tournament. I ended up talking to their dad and mom actually for a good 15-20 minutes actually after the tournament was over.
I was going to say, on that non-air conditioned bus there?
Yeah. Well, it started there and then we got into the terminal. But yeah, it was actually pretty neat to talk to them about their ball journey and whatnot.
Cade Delarwell checking in from Colombo North, and I
There's a
don't know
familiar
where that is.
Delarwell name
Yeah.
from Fastball USA years gone by. Delarwell, part of the Circle Tap group, Chris, at the time. Yeah, Delarwell, very familiar in that Midwest softball circuit.
And very quickly again, the guy working ahead. John Hickman checking in. He says he's with Claire in New South Wales. In preparedness for calling the Aussie over 35 state championship.
There you go.
Here at Blacktown. Hi from the Anzac team. Well, hello and good luck. And I hope you have short days, an air-conditioned broadcast booth, and potentially a few run-ahead rule victories.
That Blacktown facility, I wonder if was that not where the Olympic Games was?
I'm not sure.
When they were in Sydney in 2000? So many questions and just not any answers right now.
Ducharme had no answers, neither of them. They both struck out again. And that will be another 1-2-3 inning for Fuga Nagai. And we are through 5 in this bronze medal game. We head to the 6th inning. Ryuji Okawa will lead things off, and then back to the top of the order for Tei Hamamoto and Yusuke Morita. Still 1-0 on the early run from the Americans in the first. We'll be right back.
All right.
Off to the 6th inning here, and Kyle, all we had to do was ask, and now the chat is chiming in.
The chat has come alive.
Ben Ryder says, "Go Bar Buzz." Well, they're not here this week, but
That's a Wisconsin
yeah. And
staple.
cheering for the Hudson River Rats. That's a great handle for a team name right there. Claire says, yes, that was the host venue for the softball competition. Kyle Smith is an absolute encyclopedia of softball knowledge, and I do not pretend to even have a fraction of it, but that's why I keep him around. He makes me look good, and that's a task in itself.
Hey, we got a pinch hitter here, actually, in the ball game. Kanta Nishida has checked in for Japan. First time we've had a pinch hitter for Japan this week.
Yeah, they've been very stingy with the changes, and it was Okawa's spot in the lineup. Be interesting to see if Okawa is okay after that diving catch, or they're just looking to get Nishida in that bat and then maybe re-enter Okawa. Now Nishida's a middle infielder himself, so
maybe just take the rest of the day off. Okawa has played every single inning, other than, of course, this morning. But
Nishida with a pinch hit drive to center field. Davis is back at the fence and makes the catch. A move that very nearly paid off for Japan, but it's a long, loud out.
man, that could have changed this one. It's just 1-0, but it feels like it's just a bigger deficit. They haven't had anything, but that one, man, you used 250 feet to keep it inside the diamond.
Wow. Yusuf Davis with his back against the fence making the catch. So back to the top for Tei Hamamoto. 1 for 2 with a strikeout. Sends this down toward the Great Western Bear Garden. Sherry Marr says, so glad you mentioned the beeping. I guess I'll put the batteries back in the smoke detector. That's funny. Listen, folks, we noticed it on day one. Unfortunately, there's no way around it. We tried to mute the machine. Obviously, the beautiful scoreboard here. As Tei Hamamoto rips his second single of the day, and he's rounding into form here, Kyle, just as we get ready to head to Prince Albert.
Yeah, absolutely. His bat's starting to come alive for sure and have 2 good swings. And we're going to see another pinch hitter here, Chris, as our boy Toriyama going to come to the plate here.
And he'll hit for Yusuke Morita, which is a little bit surprising to me. However, the goal of this tournament is to get your guys where they need to be. Morita's already there. And Toriyama, he could use a good, successful at-bat here.
You know, and you want to know how hard we worked at trying to silence that beeping? We even got Brooks Penrod involved in the equation, and we just couldn't. We tried lowering the volume, but to no avail. So we apologize for the beeping that maybe has sent you hunting around the houses here this week. But if nothing else, you know what? They've changed their batteries in all of their smoke alarms.
That's right. And it's good to do that.
Safety first.
Once a year.
Safety first.
So Kazuya Toriyama pinch hitting and takes strike 1 from Brad Kilpatrick. And speaking of Kilpatrick, we had a Kilpatrick check in on the chat. And I think I may have lost it. She was in Fort Lauderdale.
Ooh,
that hits Toriyama on
right
the elbow.
pad.
Not the way he was looking to get on base, but maybe that's how it starts for Toriyama this week. Will we see Morita come back in to run? Actually,
we will.
Morita was the one who offered it up. He came to his coach. He said, you want me to go in and run? And here he comes, re-entering the game. And Kyle, you know, we were talking about it earlier. It's great to see the personalities on this team from Japan.
And 2 of the biggest characters in Toriyama and Morita on that one for sure. You know, so many years you saw, you know, how good Japan is, and it was just, you talk about it as almost robotic. But now, you know, the coaching staff has let the players you know, show their character, and even like seeing the coaches sitting in the stands at games and scouting and whatnot. Like it's a 180 from what it used to be for sure.
First pitch from Kilpatrick to Koki Sato will sit him down. So we got runners at first and second, 1 down here in the 6th. And this is the biggest threat for Japan since the first inning. Both bullpens quiet at this point. I would imagine this is Kilpatrick's game, or maybe Gibbons would come back in if needed. Nice rise ball from the lefty.
Yeah, I think this is Brad's game to work through here.
Speaking of that, his father is watching from Fort Lauderdale, where I'm
Yep,
sure it's
Kim.
nice and chilly tonight. Fort Lauderdale in July.
Brad, up until this year, was with the Florida Gators coaching staff and was a student assistant, student manager, being a student down at Florida. Graduated and got a full-time job at the University of Washington with Heather Tarr and Jen Salling out west.
The Huskies.
Go Dogs.
A side spin on that one, and Sato will go down swinging for the second out of the inning. Ben's checking in from Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Another fast pitch hotspot.
Been to Eau Claire for the World Tournament back in the day.
Andy checking in from Owen Sound.
I was there 2 weeks ago for a ball tournament.
I like that complex in Owen Sound.
I wasn't at Owen Sound for a tournament. We were in Tara. We stayed in Owen Sound.
One of the biggest heartbreaks of my playing career, we lost to Kitchener in the final of the 2010 Nationals.
Yeah, that one was cruelty
Yeah.
because Kitchener was in last.
0-8 or something. Yeah.
And then
They changed the rules after that.
Todd Martin and Ryan Wolf and rolled off the plane, and then the Phibbs boys got hot.
Masaki sends this one down the right field line. It is foul and just.
Not by much.
Another look here. Oh,
Just beside the line. Dodging him here.
and now an opportunity for Kilpatrick to get out of this. Masaki, last time up, hit a screamer toward Lynch at first. Or excuse me, Lewis at first.
Tying run at second base here.
Nolan says he's watching from Woodstock. I'm going to presume that's Ontario.
Or it could be...
Could be New Brunswick. Could be New
Yeah.
York. Could be a whole lot of places.
or Woodstock, Ohio.
Selkirk, Ontario. I love that we have people watching from all over the world. Hey, Brad. Dan says Grandma Carol Ducharme is not in the chat.
Oh,
But her
Dan.
And Luann are watching.
Perfect.
So he's
Has
doing
Dan said if he's
doing
their dad yet?
the tech support. I think he is.
All right. Well, definitely, Dan. Make sure you come by and say hi next week. Would be great to catch up again. Share our yearly visit.
We've got Pittick watching from California. We know we've got Jim Flanagan watching in California, too. Hope you guys are all enjoying your 4th of July weekend. Great that it was on a Friday this year. Masaki checks his swing. And the count's now full with 2 down. The tying run on second in Hamamoto, so anything through the infield is likely to score him. Low spinner, fouled back. How about this? Tracy is watching from Tucson, but they're from Brisbane, and they've got a young team, the Southside Stingers, that are over for
That's
the ISC.
Tracy List.
Kemp is the name.
Yeah,
of it,
Tracy Kemp. Her son Corey List was on the U18 team down in Hermosillo. They were part of the group that we made friends with, the Aussie supporters that were there.
It's not hard to make fun of them.
No, friends with them, not fun of them. Friends with them.
Chris Marr checks in, and we're talking about that game in Owen Sound. He wrote it was a bomb dead center over my head, and I'm pretty sure it was Dale Levy that hit it.
Yeah. I should say hi to my mom and dad watching in Hickson. They are they've been with us every single game this week.
I love that. Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. A walk for Misaki, and that will load the bases. So Yasumi, who is 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a flyout, has an opportunity to change the complexion here late in this ball game. First pitch swinging on the ground. Zach Shaw will take it on a hop. Underhand to Lewis at first. And the U.S. and Brad Kilpatrick will get out of another jam. So Japan will send 6 batters to the plate in the inning, but they will not be able to cash a run. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. Yusuf Davis, followed by Jeff Lewis and Zach Shaw, due up for the Americans.
Welcome to Mont Hill Golf and Country Club. With our beautiful 27-hole golf course open to the public, we work tirelessly to ensure your time with us is second to none. Well, here you'll be able to enjoy an incredible dining experience at our very own Big Pete's Steakhouse. Play some of the best courses in the world with our state-of-the-art golf simulators. Upgrade your gear with the top brands at our pro shop, or host a stunning wedding, event, or conference inside one of our beautiful ballrooms. Learn all this and more at monthill.ca. We can't wait to see you soon.
Let's go.
Okay, we've got some changes for Japan here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. A brand new battery is Hiroki Akita will be the 3rd pitcher of the game for Japan, and he brings with him Taiyo Kataoka behind the plate. And Ryuji Okawa re-enters at shortstop. So, again, geez, think back to that 249-foot fly ball by Nishida as the pinch hitter.
Right? Like another 2 feet, and we got a 1-1 ball game. And, I mean, they left the bases loaded, too, right?
Yeah.
You know, like, just quietly, that was an inning that could have turned this one around.
Well, Kyle, you've got a couple of personal shout-outs here. You've got Marianne Bayer from your ballpark mom.
Yeah. Paul Beyer and Marianne. Paul was a longtime umpire. Lives in Stratford. Hi, Ma.
Bob Ginger from Cape Coral, Florida.
Bobby Ginger, yes, sir.
And Dallas Kipfer says hello and go Stros.
Kip. Dallas Kipfer, part of was on the team last year for Canada at the qualifier, was on the U18s in Prince Albert, was on the U23s. Team Canada down in Argentina as well. Young up-and-comer that would be national team probability in the future for sure. There's a young guy giving back to the game for sure.
Rise ball in the outside corner. Davis shakes his head. Didn't like it. Looked okay from our vantage point.
Yeah, caught a lot of the plate on the corner there for sure. I mean, that's been a strike all day, all week here from not only Ed Otterman, but the rest of the Blue Crew.
Akita with a wry smile after that pitch. He thought maybe he could get Davis to chase up.
Really good to have everybody here. It's been a great week of softball and lots of support online. Always good to have the softball community coming together and leading into next week's Worlds.
Yusuf Davis with his second hit of the day, a bleeder down the left field side, and this time he'll throw out the anchor going around first.
Yeah, good piece of hitting there by Yusuf. Just takes that outside pitch, drops the bat head down, drives it the other way. and he gets his second single of the day. Really nice to see him find his way because it had been a struggle earlier this week.
Hey, he's 2 for 2. So back to the top for Jeff Lewis, who has scored the only run in this game, a leadoff walk in the first, and later came around to score.
Roman 4 down in the third base coach's box for the USA.
Davis gone first pitch, and he is safe under the tag. Maybe came off the bag. Okawa tries to tag him again. Davis is safe and calls time, so no messing around.
Quick jump into scoring position here. Check out the replay. Gonna look over the shoulder. Yeah, he's got the hand in there first. Nice stolen base by Yusuf. As they say, quicker than a hiccup.
So now Lewis with a chance to double the lead for the U.S. Chases a rise ball for a strike.
That's a great pitch for Mikita. Just the roundhouse rise, as our good friend Jim Flanagan would call it. Mikita's bigger than you think. Have yet to actually stand beside him this week.
Nice bunt. Well played, and the throw kind of pulled Yasumi across the bag. Good job to grab it, and Sakuraba makes the play, and a nicely executed sacrifice by Jeff Lewis.
Really nice bunt. Good hands, good control of the bat. Drop it up the line, but maybe an even better play by Sakuraba and Yasumi coming over to cover that throw.
There you see Aikita. He is a big man. Years old, just turned 30 on June 15th. And he gets ahead of Zach Shaw with a first pitch strike.
We've got one more game, Mr. Abbott. Of course, that being Canada and New Zealand coming up at 7:15 local time.
Aikita is listed at 190 centimeters. That is 186 feet, right? So
Sorry, say that again. 180.
190 centimeters.
Yes, 6'6".
That's at least 6'3"-ish. Get out the conversion. Strike 2 on Shaw.
Some of our elders in the chat will be quicker than us on the conversion.
Ryan Ferber says, watching from home in Flamborough. That's my neck of the woods over in Stony Creek.
Sorry, how many centimeters did you say?
190, buddy.
Yeah, 6'2". Ryan Ferber, good to hear from you, pal.
Janet Bolin checking in. She says she's going to meet us in Prince Albert.
Mama B.
Be great to see you, Janet. It's been a while.
It has been a while.
The whole crew's watching back there. Sherry and Chris and Janet. It's getting late in Newfoundland. Oh, it's Saturday night. Never mind.
It's early in
They're
Newfoundland
good.
on
They're just getting ready
Saturday
for the next one. Zach Shaw rips it up the middle, and it's 2-0 USA. Great piece of hitting from Zach Shaw right there to take that rise ball, drive it right back the box.
Yeah, really nice piece of hitting. Got up, reached out, drove it back up the middle, and good job by Zach. He's been in the 9 spot all week long, bumped up to 2 with Ochoa out of the lineup. But a nice piece there as USA scores, I would say, Chris, an all-important insurance run at this point.
Yeah, it's been a struggle for Japan to score this week. The only game that they won 1-0. And that's going to be something to watch as we head toward Prince Albert. And frankly, this U.S. team has had their number. They beat them twice in Oklahoma City last year, once already here this weekend. But those are the kind of things those are the stats that when you get to the actual tournament, you're really nervous. Beat the same team 5 times in a row? That's tough. Here's Blaine Milheim will foul it off.
My first introduction to Janet Boland and Sherry Marr was in Stratford, Ontario. I believe it was about 2000, between 11 and 14, somewhere in there.
Whatever year Brad hit the walk-off.
Yeah.
It was the year after Fredericton. So
Yeah, with the
12?
rain.
12
Yeah,
or
it might have been
13.
12. And they sat beside Joe Todd and myself the entire week. And let me tell you, they kept us in check the entire time. If we slipped up with a name pronunciation, boy, were they quick to rattle our chains.
They taught you how to say Ezekiel.
They actually did. Because at that point it was Ezekiel.
Yeah.
And it was there was a few slaps of the hands that week to reinforce Ezekiel.
1
Two
and
great
2
people.
counts. Oh, they're the best. I saw Sherry just last week. Milheim chases a drop ball, and he'll swing through for the second out of the inning. And that'll bring it around to Tyler Johnson, who's 0 for 2. But he does have a RBI on a fielder's choice groundout. Ben in the chat asking if Marco Diaz is available. If you're just joining us, Diaz went 5 innings in the earlier game against Canada. Johnson on the ground. Okawa sure-handed, and he'll take a detour, step on the second base bag, and get his team out of the inning. So, Ben, we don't expect to see Marco until Tuesday in Prince Albert. Brad Kilpatrick is on in relief of Cody Gibbons in this one, which will be the last game for both of these teams here in Saskatoon. We are off to the 7th inning. Japan has 3 outs to work with, and they're going to need at least 2 runs. We'll be right back for the conclusion of this one in a moment. Nolan says you guys did a great job with the harvest.
Thanks, Nolan.
So, Kyle, I want to touch on a couple of things in the chat, and we're not anyone to avoid the tough questions. There's 2 tough questions here. One, why are there such few people in the stands here in Saskatoon?
Well, I mean, that one is sort of hard to do, but there's 3 provincial tournaments going on. There's a Saskatoon Berries game.
Sakuraba first pitch swinging. Yusuf Davis makes the first out.
The Saskatoon Berries game just out beyond left field probably has about a 2,100, 2,500 people there. There's 3 provincial tournaments going on here. Other tournaments elsewhere. I know Ryan Ray, who is here in Saskatoon, he's got his team elsewhere. So that, and just people are busy these days. Yeah, would you love to see more people? For sure. If you want to see full stands, join us on GameTime.sport in Prince Albert.
All right, second question. More of a comment. I wish the men's game would use the shoot rule.
So WBSC does use the shoot rule, actually, and it will be called if needed.
Davis tracking back and makes a leaping grab at the fence, and he drops his glove. That's a home run for Inoue. Wow.
We really have seen everything, Chris. In the glove, on the wall, glove off the hand, and the ball falls out beyond the fence. He's got it. And just the way it comes down, it just drags off his hand. What a tough break for Yusuf Davis.
If the fence is a little higher or a little shorter, that doesn't happen. Just terrible luck for Yusuf Davis, and it's 2-1.
How big is that run in the top half, or in the bottom half of the 6th?
Wow.
Back to the chute. They do use the chute. The thing that some people maybe aren't aware of is that it's not that the whole body and 2 feet have to land in the chute. And the chute, keep in mind, runs perpendicular to the pitcher's mound straight forward. You just have to have a toe land in it. Doesn't have to be the front, doesn't have to be the back, just has to be something landing on the line. Doesn't even have to be inside the box, just on what would be the imaginary line. So WBSC uses it. Softball Canada, ASA, USA Softball, everybody like that. They do use the shoot rule. So if you see it, you will. If you join us this week, you may see it get called, because you actually mentioned off air down in Oklahoma City, it was called a number of times on one pitcher.
Yeah, Jorge Segura from Guatemala, right? Guatemala, he's from. Yeah, he was called a number of times,
which is not uncommon for him, because he very much gets outside of the shoot.
So the count is 2-2 now on Tayo Kataoka, who you remember came on defensively for Fumiya Ueda last inning. And Kataoka's going to send this one through the right side past the diving Zach Shaw. And Japan not going quietly into the night. So Ryuji Okawa will bat next. He was pinch hit for last time on the Nishida ball that Yusuf Davis caught at the fence. Now he shows bunts.
Good sign here from Japan, not going quietly, battling.
Gets the bunt down. Okawa, tough play. Kilpatrick turns, fires. Covering is Shaw. And he's kind of lying on the base, but that'll work. And Kataoka, with the tying run, moves down to second.
Good job by Shaw to get there and keep that base, as the throw maybe a little bit offline and he was off balance. But get the out. You're got 2 here, and here comes Ron Hackett out to the mound.
There's been nobody warming up, and you're in a tough spot of the order. Hamamoto's 2 for 3, and Yusuke Morita is on deck. So they want to figure out how to deal with these guys. Hamamoto's hit the ball hard twice today, Kyle.
Yeah, Hamamoto has really woken up here in this ball game. He's got a strikeout to go with it, but now you're at the top of the order, and you're in the tough part, as really the hottest hitter for Japan is Yusuke Morita, who stands in the on-deck circle. So you would love to avoid seeing number 23 come to the batter's box.
So the runner at second is Kataoka, or it was. With 2 out, they could have replaced him with Okawa, but they haven't, which I find curious.
Well, with speed, I mean, all the Japanese players run very well. And if you don't tie or take the lead, you're not going out to play defense.
True. Okawa can scoot.
For sure.
But there's got to be a reason why. Hamamoto thought it was outside, disagrees with the call. And it's strike 2.
Yeah, nice pitch there with a little wiggle from Brad Kilpatrick as it cuts across to the right side of the plate.
Swing, foul tip, dug out by Damon, and that'll do it. Brad Kilpatrick and the USA will claim 3rd place here at the Super 8 International Men's 4 Nations Cup, and they will take that with them to Prince Albert. A really well-played 2-1 game with 2 teams who have now played 4 games in the last 36-ish hours. And the idea was to get a tune-up for Prince Albert. I believe you could easily say that everybody has done that. So that was a quick game too, Kyle. They played it about an hour 20, and that will get us right back on schedule for Canada, New Zealand That game's scheduled for 7:15 local, which would be 9:15 Eastern, 10:45 for our friends in Newfoundland. That's not a bad start at all. That's about the same time as the late game on Hockey Night in Canada. So we will wait for the teams to get back on their lines, and then we will hand it off to Troy Sauser, who will give us our players of the game.
Ladies and gentlemen, time now for the players of the game. One player from each team will receive an award from Rawlings, Canada. Mike Bradshaw from Softball Canada is here to present today's award to each player as selected by Kyle Smith and Chris Abbott of Softball Premier TV. The player of the game for Japan, Yataro Inu. And the player of the game for the United States, number 28, Yusuf Davis. Ladies and gentlemen, a well-played match.
Please join us for the gold medal final tonight between Canada and New Zealand. Like we said, that will start in about 35 minutes time here at Softball Premier. On behalf of Kyle Smith, our production team, Claudio and Carol, thanks so much for being with us. Thanks for all the questions in the chat. Make sure you come back. We're looking forward to the final. We'll take a quick break and we'll see you soon.
Welcome to Mont Hill Golf and Country Club. With our beautiful 27-hole golf course open to the public, we work tirelessly to ensure your time with us is second to none. Well, here you'll be able to enjoy an incredible dining experience at our very own Big Pete's Steakhouse. Play some of the best courses in the world with our state-of-the-art golf simulators. Upgrade your gear with the top brands at our pro shop, or host a stunning wedding, event, or conference inside one of our beautiful ballrooms. Learn all this and more at monthill.ca. We can't wait to see you soon.